Greetings and salutations. When I was in year 9 in 2018, I completed my Maths GCSE and achieved a grade 8, which is the equivalent of an A star. Some of you are probably thinking this right now.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
So here's the proof. I have no reason to lie. I'm born in August, so I was 13 at the time of taking my exams. And it was the first time in my life where I felt like I actually pushed myself and I had a goal in mind, but it just felt so far away. So I worked towards it, I was disciplined, and I actually ended up achieving the goal, which was obviously an incredible achievement. So how did this come about? So in my secondary school, it was like part of an accelerator program where me and 9 other students were selected to take our GCSEs in year 9, which is 2 years earlier than the rest of the UK do or the rest of England do. And it was the first time that the school had ever tried something like this, because obviously we were just that bright, we were just too smart. What can I say? It was a pretty big deal for all of us. And for most secondary schools, year 9 is where you actually start GCSE content, and then you do it in year 9, year 10 and 11. So it's 3 years worth of content, and we had to do that all in 1 year. We had to learn all of that and still do well in it. So it's a pretty tough challenge. At first, once this was announced, I felt a huge kind of imposter syndrome. The other 9 students who were selected, they were all part of the same friendship group, and everyone knew that group as the smart people. That's what they were called, the smart people, because they always received the top grades. They were always studying, they were just smart. That's what everyone called them, and they knew that because obviously they were very intelligent people. And although I was cool with all of them, they were my friends, yeah, but I wasn't actually a part of that friend group. My friend group was more so the ones where they'd still get good grades, they'd get decent grades, but we didn't really have to try. We didn't really study that hard. We weren't try hard or anything, but we still got good grades. It's not a flex, by the way. So yeah, now I'm actually pooled with all these really intelligent people, the smart people. It just made me feel like, how on earth did I get selected with all these people? Yeah, they're in all of my classes, but they were just on another level to me. That's how I felt. I just felt like I didn't deserve to be selected. I didn't deserve to be taking my Maths GCSE 2 years early. And that thought in my head, that feeling of imposter syndrome was also enhanced by people in my year, or even sometimes my friends, saying stuff like,
how on earth did you get selected to do this early? Just drop out and take it with us next year.
And stuff like that,
if you do it, you're probably going to get rubbish grades, so it's not worth it. Don't embarrass yourself.
That didn't make things any better. I was actually pretty close to, just being telling my teacher, I don't think I'm ready, can I do it next year? Even though they might have meant it as a joke, how on earth did you get put into the accelerator program? It's still I felt it, because that was what I was also thinking in my head, and the fact that other people were saying that to me, it kind of reaffirmed what I was thinking in my head. But the thing was, my maths teacher, shout out to you, she always just believed in me. She always told me things like, you can get really good grades, you just gotta work hard, all of that kind of stuff, and those were words that I really needed to hear at the time. So I didn't drop out, I stuck through it. In the early stages of learning all of this GCSE content, we're learning it 3 times faster than the average GCSE student, because it's 3 years of content all in 1 year, right? So it was a lot to take in, a lot to digest. I was definitely lacking behind the smart people in all my exams. I'd average 6s and the occasional scraping of a 7, which is an A, and a 6 is a B. They would always get 8s and 9s. So of course 6s and 7s aren't bad grades, but it just wasn't the level that I wanted to be at, because I didn't want to feel like I was the worst of the bunch. I was working hard, I was studying so much during this time, but I still felt like there was just something that the smart people had that I didn't have, that enabled them to get the top grades. Exams start approaching now, and I'm really starting to panic, because I feel like I'm working hard, but the results aren't a representation of the amount of work that I'm putting in. I started making all these excuses in my head, it's not really my fault, is it? It's too much content to learn in 1 year, or I'm only 13 years old, how much do they expect of me? But those of course aren't really genuine or valid excuses, because the rest of the people in the program are all the same age as me, 13 years old, 14 years old, and they were doing it. So what was it that I was missing? And it wasn't until March, around March, April, which is a month before the actual exams that I came to the realization of why I wasn't getting the top grades or doing the best in my exams, and that was because I wasn't taking full advantage of past papers or practice papers. That was when everything changed for me. That was when my grades started to... If you're in the UK, if you're taking GCSEs, make sure you take full advantage of past papers, because they're a reflection of what is actually going to come up in all the exams. And because what I was doing was I'd watch videos, or I'd use the textbook and do a couple of questions in there, but a lot of the time they're not actually a reflection of what's going to come up in the actual exams. So when you're doing all these past papers, now you get into an exam, nothing really shocks you or surprises you, because you've seen the kind of style of questions that they're giving you in the first place. So it just equips you with all the skills and the knowledge needed to actually ace your exams. With maths, it's all about practice, getting in the repetitions, building that foundation, and just imprinting all of the formulas and whatnot into your head. So that was where things really started to take off for me. In my final mock exam before the real thing, I got a grade 7, but it was just a couple of marks off an 8. And that was the highest grade I'd ever got in the mock exam. Before, all of the other mock exams were 6s or scraping a 7, whilst everyone else got 8s and 9s. But this was the closest I'd ever felt to being on par with smart people. When my maths teacher gave me the result back for that mock exam, she was like, you're gonna get an 8, Tim, not a 7, you can do it. And that really motivated me. So the real thing comes around, I take the exams, and on results day I opened up the envelope to see that I got an 8. Thank you. It was the best feeling ever, because guys, the amount of work that all of us, not even just me, that all of us put in to get those grades, like 8 of us got 8s and 2 of us got grade 9s, which is the top one. But yeah, everyone basically got an A star or an A star plus, whatever, I don't know, a grade 9. We all got the top grades, and we did it at the ages of 13 and 14, and it was just a great feeling to be a part of such great company. And like, no one could say anything because I got the same grades as them. I didn't get a 7 or a 6 or a 5, which is still good grades, but although I wasn't a part of the friend group or known as one of the smart people, I was on level with them, so no one could really say anything. I proved everyone wrong. And I also proved to myself that when I put in the hard work, I can achieve something, which was important, because that really got rid of the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is all about feeling like you don't deserve your achievements. Like getting into the program, I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt out of place, like, why am I here? Why did I get selected? And it really made me feel like, I belong, like I am smart, I am intelligent, I can work hard, all of this kind of stuff. So after that, in my next year, year 10, everyone who did the accelerated program, we were all awarded the title of Maths Ambassadors. Can you see that? Yeah, we all wore one of these on our blazers, Maths Ambassador. You know what, I'm gonna wear this for the remainder of the video. Forgot how difficult it was to put this on. Yeah. Anyways, so as a maths ambassador, because we didn't have to do maths anymore, that freed up our maths lessons where everyone else was doing maths. We would basically be in, the lower sets and kind of helping the students who had a bit more difficulty or struggled with maths, and we'd help them out. So yeah, that's the story of how I got an A star, a grade 8 in my Maths GCSE at the age of 13. If there's anything you take away from this video, it's that when you put your mind to something, you can achieve it. You can achieve it. And you shouldn't let anyone tell you otherwise, your friends, your teachers, whoever it might be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.